What a weekend we just experienced in the world of sports. SEC football had us on the edge of our seats. The NFL served up some major surprises. The World Series is about to start with one of the most historic matchups ever. We're going to dive into all of this and more. I'm your host, Joey Antonucci, along with Sebastian Bruno and Logan Patel. Welcome to the Sports Lounge. Welcome back. Powerhouse versus powerhouse, MVP versus MVP. One of the most historic matchups ever, Yankees versus Dodgers. Yankees have dominated this series in the World Series, leading the Dodgers 8-3 all-time wins in the World Series. Who's going to win this matchup, though?
I got the Yankees.
Yankees.
I think they have a more dominant pitching staff, along with a more, sometimes more consistent offense.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, I think the Yankees are going to win. Probably 6 games.
6 games, okay.
Yeah, but the Yankees have probably a weaker lineup, but that's not anything bad, especially going up against the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely have the stronger pitching staff, especially in the bullpen area. So, yeah, I think if the Yankees can get deep into the Dodgers pitching staff and weaken it up a little bit, by the 6th or 7th game, they're going to be on top.
Yeah, I think if the Yankees have already played great, they've only lost 2 games total. If Aaron Judge is able to perform, he hasn't performed great in the playoffs, but if he's able to perform, I don't think there's any way they could lose this series.
Yeah, like in the World Series, you need your stars to shine the brightest.
Mm-hmm.
And in the ALCS, that was Giancarlo Stanton and Juan Soto. You know,
even Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, Gleyber Torres was getting on base in the leadoff spot. But yeah, in the big games, you need your stars to shine, and they're still looking for Aaron Judge to get hot.
Yep.
But he showed some signs of life in the ALCS. So.
Yeah, as soon as it turned to October, Giancarlo Stanton flipped the switch. He hit, 230 in the regular season. Now he's hitting over 300.
It was crazy to watch. Huge home runs at huge times. Just came through for the Yankees huge. Able to win that MVP in the ALCS.
Yeah, Soto's obviously huge, of course, with that big home run in the 10th. So hopefully we can re-sign him after this season. Yeah, and hopefully he can do the same in the World Series.
As you guys can all see, we're all wearing our Yankees jerseys.
Yeah.
You can probably tell who we're rooting for. I have the Yankees in 7. You have them in 6?
Yeah, 6 games.
I also have them in 6. Yeah.
6?
And
I don't think we see a sweep or even a 5-game series. I think it's either it goes to 6 or 7.
Yeah, the line's 5.5. I think most people are going to be taking the over on that 6, 7 games.
Yeah, and for game 1, I think we can sneak one, especially with Cole on the mound.
Yep.
And the Dodgers' starting pitching hasn't looked that great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we can sneak game 1, especially with a fully healthy bullpen, full rested lineup. So yeah, I think we can sneak one in LA.
Yeah, especially with Garrett Cole pitching. They have Flaherty pitching, and that's definitely not their ace. Their ace, Yamamoto, is, I think he's set for what, game 2, game 3?
Game 2, yep.
Yeah. So
I think, if the Yankees are able to get that game 1.
We have to get game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then going back to New York, we got to win 2 out of 3.
Yeah, if you win 2 out of 3, I don't think
you got to win 2 out of 3 because then you go back to LA.
They go up 3-1.
Yeah, you go back to LA up 3-1.
We got to take one in LA at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to move on to a little segment. Shout out to Miss Masters. Want us to talk about a little bit of soccer. Qualifiers have started for the World Cup. World Cup is coming to the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Who's some big players to look out for?
Well, you really just got to look at the English team. The English team has really good players: Bukayo Saka, Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane. That's like the big 3 for that squad. Also, you look into South America. You got Brazil, Argentina, obviously there. Colombia's on the uprise.
Which is interesting. Chile's on the going down.
Chile was good in the 2010s era, but their squad really aged a lot. So they've downgraded a lot too.
For Colombia, one player I'm looking out for is James.
James Rodriguez, yeah, him and Luis Diaz is going to be the dynamic duo for the Colombian squad this summer and then going into next summer. So yeah, I feel like Colombia they're gonna ease their way through the qualifiers and get to the World Cup, and yeah.
Yeah, look out for Mbappe too. Last World Cup final, won the Golden Boot even though they lost.
Yeah, so. he's unbelievable. He's a great player.
Yeah, obviously the French squad is very strong. The France squad is strong. Spain obviously just won the Euros. Yep. And Portugal obviously still got Ronaldo there.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how Argentina's going to do if Messi doesn't come back.
I still feel like Argentina, they proved this summer that they can win without Messi. Messi wasn't playing at his best this summer, and Argentina still won the Copa America pretty easily.
They did, yes. Probably going to move on to our biggest college football, we had some great games. Texas, Georgia, the first one. College game day. Number 5 Georgia able to upset number 1 Texas. What do we think about that game?
I was definitely
What went
wrong. I was definitely wrong with my Texas pick. I mean, Texas looked dead the whole game.
They did.
I mean, Georgia kind of just dominated the whole game throughout.
Yeah, I think going into Texas and pulling out that win against the number 1 team, that was, I think, goes back to what I said last week. I don't think there's a team that's going to beat Kirby Smart unless it's Alabama, which is crazy because Alabama ended up losing.
Yeah, I mean, with my Texas pick, I was definitely wrong as well. So good pick by you, Joey, to pick Georgia.
Thank you.
But yeah, Texas, they really showed up with no energy, especially at home.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in a 20-0 hole at halftime.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers had 2 picks. Yeah, I mean, Texas was really dead. Georgia pounced on their opportunities, and they won the game.
Is Arch Manning, would we see him the potential starter, or do you think they could still keep Quinn Ewers? No,
I think they're going to stay with Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers, yeah. I agree.
Just going off the seniority, obviously, Quinn Ewers is going to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they keep Quinn Ewers in there. But Arch Manning, he did come in against Georgia going into the second half, but, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Arch Manning becoming a starter this year. But, I mean, obviously next year he'll get the starting job, but not this year.
UF versus Kentucky. UF with a huge win, boost their confidence. I think they look good enough to maybe upset a top team.
I mean, you guys told me I was crazy for picking Florida.
I picked Florida. What are you talking about?
Did you?
I picked Kentucky.
This round, he was doubting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of the Florida team, obviously.
He's an FSU guy.
Florida State fan here.
How's FSU doing?
Not very good, but I don't think they're going to win this week either.
Yeah.
But Kentucky's weak as well, and Florida at home is obviously tough. So
I think going in, they got Georgia, LSU. I think if they're able to, I think they'll beat FSU at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think they can maybe sneak in a win against Ole Miss though.
Ole Miss is pretty weak as well. I mean, they lost to Kentucky, who Florida just beat. So yeah, I think Florida can definitely upset Ole Miss there.
Yeah, so I think
Florida's passing attack, it was really weak. I mean, DJ Lagway completed 7 passes, for 250 yards, which was good. So, I mean.
What do we think about Lagway? Lagway over Mertz, you guys, I know Mertz is hurt. Do you think Lagway is a better player than Mertz, or?
I think all-around player, yeah. Because he's going to draw, like last episode, he's going to draw interest from big teams like Georgia. So, yeah, I think he's an all-around better athlete.
I think I see much more potential in Lagway right now. I think Mertz would have been a better fit at this moment. I think Lagway will be better in the future. But I still think he's capable of taking them to 6 wins, a bowl game, which would be huge with this schedule they have.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lagway better, but I feel like the Florida coaching, they don't want to go into like a project right now. They just want to win. So I feel like they would
keep their job.
Yeah, they would have started Mertz, who probably gives them the better chance to win, not just develop Lagway and get him into the starter in the next couple of years.
Miami at Louisville. Louisville was able to keep it close pretty much the whole game, but Cam Ward in that offense, just unbelievable. Does this boost Cam Ward's Heisman ratings?
Yeah, I think he gets to probably number 2 or 3 behind Travis Hunter and Ashton Genty. But Cam Ward and the Miami offense put up 52 points against Louisville, who's a pretty tough squad. I mean, there were some turning points in the game, a couple fumbles in there. So, yeah, I mean, Cam Ward in the offense is really good.
Yeah, I definitely thought the turning point in the game was when Miami recovered a fumble for a touchdown. But that really didn't do anything to hurt, the momentum of the game.
Yeah. No, I think Miami, they're looking like such a really good team right now.
Yeah.
I don't see them losing to anyone until the ACC championship, which I assume they'd play Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson and Miami are definitely the top 2 teams in the ACC, but I mean, I still see Miami getting through them. I mean, the offense is that good.
Yeah,
Cam Ward is that good.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Cam Ward's unstoppable. I don't think Clemson can handle Miami.
Okay. Michigan at Illinois. Illinois with another big win, upsetting Michigan. Michigan was favored in that game. I think most people did have Illinois though, but it was an upset in the books. Dominated defensive performance. What do we think about Michigan? Are they? I don't see them like
their offense is just straight up trash.
Yeah.
The offense is just you gotta have a quarterback.
Yeah.
They don't right now.
Yeah, they don't have a winning quarterback. I mean, J.J. McCarthy was obviously good, but yeah, they don't have anyone they can win with.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan's not that good, but for Illinois, I mean, their uniforms did not complement their performance that well. But
You don't like the uniforms?
No, the uniforms were not good, but their helmets were nice.
I like the helmets.
The helmets were nice, but their
Uniforms
uniforms
didn't look great, though.
No, not a fan of the uniforms. But yeah, for Illinois, they played defensively really strong against obviously weak Michigan offense. It's more of a rebuilding year for Michigan coming off the national championship.
Okay.
But yeah, good performance by Illinois to get the win.
Bama at Tennessee. We all watched that game. You guys both had Tennessee. I was wrong. I had Bama. It looks like they need Nick Saban back. Team just is not itself. I know probably everyone saw how on that QB sneak, the wide receivers doing like pump fakes out on the side.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing the wide receivers shoot fadeaways during a 4th-and-1 quarterback sneak. I mean, yeah, the team just looks undisciplined to win on the road. Yeah, after that Georgia win, I feel like they lost their heads a little bit, especially when they lost to Vanderbilt. Close win against South Carolina and another loss at Tennessee. I think that pushes them out of the SEC conversation at this point. But, yeah, I mean, I never think I see the day where Vanderbilt and Mizzou is higher than Alabama in the SEC right now. So,
Bama does not look like Bama from every other year in the past. I mean, Saban.
You think it's because Nick Saban's gone?
Yeah,
it's just not.
for sure. I mean, Kellen DeBoer, he's not Nick Saban. I mean, Nick Saban had
he's a great coach.
coaching. He's a good coach, yeah. Coached well at Washington. But, yeah, Nick Saban had them way more disciplined, obviously, you can tell.
Yeah, I feel like after Nick Saban left, Alabama, they lost their spirit, you know? They're not Alabama anymore. They're
a little more laid back.
Yeah,
it's not that
doesn't feel
disciplined team with Nick Saban.
Yeah, I mean, even when Alabama had, a weaker squad, they were still Alabama, you know? It's still hard to play against them.
1-2-loss team at most, and
but now,
Alabama has a chance to maybe even lose 3-4 games this year.
I mean, I don't know where you look to fix the team. I mean, obviously look at the coach. He's not really like a leader of men type of guy like Saban was, you know. Getting the team motivated before the games. Like the Alabama team, they didn't look ready to play against Tennessee. And Tennessee, you know, they're not going to take Alabama lightly like they did Florida. So you knew they were just going to come out obviously throwing.
Nebraska at Indiana. What a dominant performance by Indiana. I don't think anyone, even you, had Indiana winning. But I don't even think you saw that.
Yeah. I mean, Indiana, they're up to 13 in the rankings now.
I don't think anyone, if you told someone 3 years ago that Indiana would be ranked above Alabama.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think about how far Indiana has come. 56 points against Nebraska. There's no terrible team.
Good team.
Yeah, it's more Big Ten competition. I mean, Indiana, they got a real team. They got a real team now. They're making some noise in the Big Ten, obviously.
We got nothing to say. Just straight up blowout.
Yeah, blowout by Indiana.
Yeah.
You guys probably didn't watch UAB at USF. USF started off slow with the backup quarterback. Able to come out. I don't know what happened after. There was a fight on the sideline.
I saw the fight.
Midway through the third quarter. And right after that moment, I don't know what clicked, but they went on a 28-6 run in the last 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think USF, the fight probably sparked them, gave them some extra fight in them. But yeah, I mean, USF, it's a backup quarterback. They got to still get adjusted into the game. So not surprising that they started slow, but able to pull out the win on homecoming night, like you said.
Which I was actually wrong. Their homecoming night.
Oh, it's not homecoming night.
It got moved. It got moved. And speaking of that, Navy. Do you guys? They play. They're coming off the bye week this week. Next week they have Navy. Do you see any chance of them winning that game? They'll have. They will probably have their starting quarterback Byron Brown back. That is homecoming night.
Nah.
No?
No, I don't think they'll win against Navy. Navy, they've got a gritty squad this year, you know. In the rankings, them and Army both in the rankings.
Both Army and Navy dominating wins this week.
Yeah.
It's the first time since 1926 they're combined 13-0, which is it's pretty cool to
Coming
watch.
up on 100 years for that.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to watch. Both those teams looking great. Speaking of Navy versus Notre Dame, huge game this week. Possible college football playoff contention game. If Notre Dame loses, they could be out for good.
Yeah,
I don't
Who
see
you guys got winning that game?
I got Notre Dame. I don't see them losing to Navy. I mean, Navy's got a pretty good squad, but I don't think it's nothing Notre Dame can handle.
Notre Dame for me as well. I mean, neutral-sided game. It's always going to be tough, but Notre Dame, I think
the neutral site, I think that's going to help Navy. I've been going back and forth on this. I do think Notre Dame's going to win. I think it'll be much closer, though.
Yeah.
It'll be I think it'll be a one-score game, possibly a 3-point game, because that option offense from Navy is just so hard to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting up some crazy numbers right now.
Yeah, I mean, Navy, obviously, they got a good squad, but
Yeah.
obviously compared to Notre Dame,
Yeah.
Notre Dame's Power 5
Notre
school.
Dame's got to play
so-
good though. They can't play like they did against NIU earlier in the year.
No, or A&M as well. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't play really good against A&M,
Yeah,
but
first
I
week.
still think that they're going to get the win over Navy.
Okay. Oregon versus Illinois. Who do you guys got winning that game? Illinois off the big win against Michigan.
Definitely Oregon.
Oregon.
I mean, Oregon's looked unstoppable. They beat Ohio
Mhm.
State. I mean, Dylan Gabriel's looked really good. Yeah.
Oregon for me, too, pretty easily. I mean, you could definitely see an upset coming here,
Mhm.
but no, I feel like Oregon's too good just for Illinois. Dylan Gabriel, obviously, slinging the ball.
Mhm,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I feel like Oregon's
Big
going to
win.
get the dub.
Not an overly impressive win, but it's still a 35-point victory over Purdue last week.
Yeah.
They just looked like the number one team
Oregon
in the
looked like
country.
number one team. Yeah.
So, Missouri.
Purdue, I mean, the week before that, they didn't play bad at all.
They played a good
I mean,
game,
yeah.
but I think Oregon just
Yeah.
another really big win.
Yeah.
You got Missouri versus Alabama. This is a weird game. I mean,
Yeah.
Missouri's played some close games.
I think both teams aren't as good as they were supposed to be this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
ask me at the beginning of the year, I probably would have told you Alabama by a lot. But this is probably going to be more of a closer game now.
Okay.
I think it's low scoring too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely low scoring.
I would actually agree. I was gonna say. Yeah, I think both defenses are gonna show up to play. Who do you have winning the game ultimately though?
I don't know. I'll take Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
going to give Alabama the benefit of the doubt here.
I think Alabama's are just they don't lose to Missouri.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that's yeah.
I can definitely see it though. If
Yeah, I
Mizzou-
think it'll be a great
Mizzou
game.
wants to pull up an upset, I
Mhm.
can definitely see that coming.
If Missouri wants to win, they have to get the
Still
ball.
fighting for their playoff chances.
They have to get the ball to Luther Burden. I mean,
Mhm,
Yeah.
he's the X factor in that offense. He's
Yep.
he's good. He's really good.
Texas versus Vanderbilt, who's now ranked, and which is crazy. You once again you tell someone a couple years ago
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's gonna be ranked.
Yeah, college football this year is
It's
really
insane.
entertaining to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Who do you guys got winning that game? Do you see Vanderbilt any shot winning that game?
They have no shot.
I don't
No
think
shot?
they're going to have
They
a
don't have a
shot,
shot.
for Texas. I mean, Texas is probably a better team than Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they did beat Alabama.
I mean, anything can happen. I mean, everyone's probably saying they had
Yeah.
no shot at beating Bama. So
Yeah, and they did beat Bama. So
Texas, I do think though Texas coming off a loss, I don't think they're in any room to fool around.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
going to be working hard in practice this week. So I don't think they're. I think this could be a blowout. Vanderbilt's got a lot of hype right now,
Definitely.
and I think Texas just wants to go and crush that right
Yeah,
now.
definitely seeing a blowout.
Yeah, I'd agree with the blowout there.
Okay.
Texas, yeah, they're not going to want to mess about here. Not going to want to give their fans any scares this week.
Yep.
Just go out and dominate a weaker Vanderbilt team.
Your FSU Knowles.
Yeah.
No, it's a Miami fighting for bowl contention.
Nah, it's not happening this
Not
week.
happening.
I think no bowl game for the Knowles this year.
You see any close game between
No.
them? No.
No.
Nah, I don't either. I mean, Miami, they're favored by 21.
Mhm.
Oof.
So
Which
Yeah, I
we
mean-
have seen as though with Cal and Virginia Tech, both we thought were both going to be blowouts.
Yeah, and they didn't make it close with Miami because Miami's defense is not
They're
the best.
not the strongest.
It's not the best, but FSU offense is that weak.
That weak?
That week.
I didn't see Cal fighting that hard. I mean,
Mhm.
Miami's offense led them to an insane
Yeah.
comeback
Yeah.
in the fourth
Huge
quarter. So,
comeback.
yeah.
A little bit of rivalry. Michigan State versus Michigan. Both two mediocre teams at best this year.
Yeah, not a fan of either team this
Who do
year.
you got winning?
I guess I'll just take Michigan. They
Michigan?
they still have
Okay.
a good defense. It's just their offense is just
Yeah, I think
Boring.
Michigan's defense will definitely carry them to this win.
Okay.
But yeah,
You got Michigan. I have Michigan State winning that game.
yeah,
I think just when you have no quarterback who's capable of playing, which it doesn't look like right now at Michigan, I don't think you can win big games. Which it's not a huge game, but it still is a rivalry game.
yeah. I
between
mean,
Michigan and Michigan State.
the NFL took basically their whole team.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
took JJ McCarthy, Corum. Their O line their O line's definitely weakened from
Mhm.
last year. But I still think they're going to get the win over Michigan State. They still got Will Johnson and Mason Graham on defense, so I think their defense will probably power them to this game.
Probably the biggest game of the week. Not college game day, but LSU at Texas A&M. Who do you guys got winning that game? Playoff implications here.
I see Texas A&M winning this game, but definitely a close game throughout
Texas
the
A&M.
whole. I could see it going LSU's way too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, probably Texas A&M here, but obviously LSU's no team to mess about. So
Yeah, I think I have Texas A&M winning as well. If this game was a night game, it's a night game. But if it was in Death Valley, I don't see LSU losing that game.
No, if it was definitely in at LSU, I'd see LSU winning.
Yeah.
But it's at Kyle Field this time, so
12th man.
12th man, obviously, probably one of the loudest stadiums in college football. So yeah, I see Texas A&M taking that game.
Yeah, we're gonna see great talent in that game. Teams that produce NFL talent, and so we're gonna move on to the NFL now. Lions win an absolute thriller, against the Vikings. Moving the Vikings to 5-1 now. They were 5-0. Is this where the Vikings run end? They're the last team to start off 5-0 and not make the playoffs. Is the Vikings? Is that the same case this year?
The Vikings definitely have had some bad luck in recent years, but no, I think their run just going to keep going.
Okay.
They lost to the best team in the NFL. Like, let's be honest.
Lions. You
they
think
lost.
you got the Lions' best team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They lost to the best team in the NFL on a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
So definitely nothing to take away from the Vikings there. Just got to go in the next week and get another win.
Yeah, it was a great game. A little bit of a comeback from the Vikings down pretty much the whole game, able to take the lead. But Jared Goff, another great performance. It was a great game.
yeah, that Lions offense. I mean, they got a 1-2 punch in the backfield with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Definitely the best running back duo in the league. Yeah, I think the Vikings' run doesn't end here.
Okay, you still see them performing good.
Yeah, it was just a shootout game.
Yeah, I still see them getting into the playoffs, but probably as a wild card.
Okay, you see Lions winning the
Lions,
division?
and I think also the Lions are current NFC favorites right
Okay.
now. I think by far best team in the NFC.
Saquon absolutely dominates his former team in the Giants. Is this a spark that the Eagles need to get going?
I think so. I mean, almost had his career high in a revenge game.
Could have had it.
Yeah.
Took one for the team, let the younger guys play.
Yeah. Saquon, I mean, completely dominated the Giants in this game. So, yeah, I think the Eagles, they're going to take what they saw from Saquon and obviously want to produce better. I mean, they won 28-3 in the game. The Giants aren't good.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Jones was on his back half the time. So, yeah, I mean, the Eagles, they're going to probably go on a nice little run here, but I still don't see them winning the division. I think the Commanders got the division right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so Commanders still
Jaden
win.
Daniels did just get hurt.
Yeah.
So hoping he can come back healthy and keep playing how he's playing. I mean, yeah, the Eagles, they got A.J. Brown back too, which will definitely help their offense. So, but I don't see them winning the division if Jaden Daniels comes back healthy.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, even though Jaden Daniels went down, they put up 40.
Mariota.
But Mariota.
looks unbelievable.
And I was thinking it's just a testament to the coaching of the Commanders with Cliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator.
They've come a long way.
Yeah, so I feel like not only just testament to Jaden Daniels, but also testament to the Commanders.
Seattle started off strong this season, lost a couple games in a row. It would beat Atlanta on the road, who's Atlanta Falcons looking like a great team. Are the Seahawks able to win the NFC East, do you think? Or NFC West, sorry.
Yeah, I think they're going to win the NFC West.
Really? Okay.
The 49ers are looking pretty beat up right now.
Yeah.
The
They
Rams,
do get Christian McCaffrey back week 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just lost Brandon Ayuk to a ACL and MCL tear. So, I mean, Debo, he's got pneumonia?
Yeah,
I don't
it's in the
know.
hospital.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I mean,
Brock Purdy's not looking like the same guy from last year. So, yeah, I think, the Seahawks can definitely get
yeah,
it
the
done.
Seahawks will probably win the NFC West. I think the Cardinals might give them a little bit of a challenge. I mean, they just barely squeaked by the Chargers. Cardinals and the 49ers are going to be looking to get in the wild card. The Rams are not making the playoffs probably, even though Puka and Cooper Kupp are coming back pretty soon. But
Cooper Kupp's also got some trade rumors. I think he'll get traded.
Who do you think? Do you have any predictions?
If I was Cooper Kupp, I want to go to the Chiefs.
well,
Chiefs.
yeah, my prediction would have been the Chiefs, but they just
They got
traded.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, trade
they
right
just
now.
traded for Hopkins.
Is DeAndre Hopkins? Used to be a couple years ago one of the best receivers in the league. Is he? We'll just say washed. Is that going to help the Chiefs at all, or do you think he's still capable of producing big numbers?
I mean, it definitely helps the Chiefs. Obviously,
Yeah.
the Chiefs.
With Mahomes throwing to him.
Chiefs wide receiver core is not that good right now because they lost their
Rashee
number one,
Rice.
Rashee Rice, to a knee injury. So I feel like DeAndre Hopkins is definitely going to help out the team, but he's not that receiver that we saw in Houston and in his early years in Arizona. So, but he's going to help the Chiefs 100%.
Yeah, I don't see him like as a big factor. I think Travis Kelce's still their number one guy, and they just signed Kareem Hunt, and he's looking good. So, I mean, they have Juju, and he didn't look bad one of the games. They got their rookie Xavier Worthy.
Yeah,
so, I mean, he could definitely help in some ways, but not as he used to back in the day.
Yeah, and at this point, I still feel like the Chiefs are probably overwhelming favorites to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
With the new addition of DeAndre Hopkins, but yeah, Mahomes and Kelsey, they're going to do their thing. So yeah, I feel like Chiefs probably are the favorite.
Colts win, but in a very close game. How can we see some consistency from their offense? Defense looked great, holding the team to 10 points, but offense just barely squeaking by.
Yeah, I mean, they just got to find some consistency with Anthony Richardson. He's been in and out being injured, So I feel like if they can just find some consistency there, they've got a good coaching staff, but I feel like it's just the quarterback play is not playing up to par. So Anthony Richardson, he's good throwing it deep. They got to get him throwing the long balls more. So yeah, I feel like if the Colts can just figure that out with the quarterback, they should be fine and making a playoff appearance again.
Okay.
Yeah, they need to find a rhythm, and also getting Jonathan Taylor back soon is definitely going to help. But I don't see them getting to the playoffs. But I mean, Anthony Richardson just hasn't looked that good. He just needs to.
He started off the season looking good. Week
1. I mean, week 1 he threw.
Yeah, they had a good game
against the Texans.
Bombs,
threw a couple nice passes, but
got hurt again.
And now he doesn't look the same player.
Yeah, I do once again agreeing with you guys. I think if he's able to come back strong, I think they could be a good, possibly a playoff team.
Yeah, and
AFC
Colts,
is strong, but
the Colts have everything they need. They have a good defense. Their O-line is really good.
Yeah,
they have Jonathan Taylor,
one of the best running
backs in the league. They just got to play with the quarterback. I mean, they have Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, and Josh Downs. Pretty good wide receiver core. Yeah. They just need to play from the quarterback, and that's about it.
Bills with a big blowout win against the Titans. How big is that Amari Cooper trade? He scored a touchdown. Do you think that this is going to help him a lot, become one of the best teams in the AFC?
Yeah, I think with the Amari Cooper trade, I think the Bills are probably second or third favorite in the AFC right now, behind the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the Amari Cooper trade is obviously huge for the Bills. Getting Josh Allen, that wide receiver 1 for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And, of course, getting Amari Cooper out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
They saved his career, basically.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of Cleveland, you don't think?
No, I think the Browns are just cursed forever. I don't know. I don't think they'll ever win.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, what do you think? The booing of his injury?
Yeah, I don't know. I think just the fans are just out of touch with the team right now.
I get it, but it's still not.
You can't.
It's not the right thing to do. I mean,
definitely not the right thing to do.
Yeah, I like what Jameis said. He was standing up for him.
Yeah, Jameis is obviously a big locker room guy.
Yeah.
Going back to the Bills, though, I mean, Josh Allen's guy is real number 1, and James Cook has been banged up. But when they get him back, they can definitely make a push for the AFC Championship.
Yeah, and I feel like getting away from Stephon Diggs is big for Josh Allen. He doesn't have to force the ball to Diggs. I mean, Diggs is a big diva for the team. I mean, I'm seeing clips of him complaining already to the Texans, who did struggle last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going back to the Bills, getting away from Stephon Diggs and getting Amari Cooper in is obviously huge. And I think they can have the AFC East easily. And for their AFC title chances, probably second or third favorite.
Okay. Speaking of the Texans, close loss to the Packers. Packers look great, but how big is that loss of Nico Collins for that offense? Because C.J. Stroud, he was first weeks looked like an MVP candidate. Last week did not look like his self.
Yeah, I mean, C.J. Stroud and other receivers didn't look as in sync. I mean, Nico Collins definitely is going to hurt the team a little bit, but they still have Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz. I mean, they also did play the Packers, which have a good secondary, and Xavier McKinney and Jair Alexander. But, I mean, if they can find themselves again, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, the loss of Nico Collins is obviously huge. That's C.J. Stroud's number 1 receiver. So, but So, yeah, it's going to hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like, Joe Mixon had a big game.
Yeah.
They
played
lost
well.
on a last-second field goal. CJ Stroud did throw for under 100 yards.
Packers are a great team, but I still think the Texans, they just got to look forward. Still a great team.
Yeah, I mean, just got to forget about this game. I mean, they almost pulled out a win playing bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just forget about this
Packers
game.
Team.
Yeah, the Packers are really good this year, I feel like.
So,
Yeah, Jordan Love's back. Looking very good.
Yeah, also a big game for Josh Jacobs for the Packers.
Yes,
so,
yes.
yeah.
Got his first receiving touchdown ever.
I thought he had one with the Raiders. I still feel like he did, but I guess not. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I've watched every game, so I don't know.
The Raiders.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes underperforming as his usual self. Still a great quarterback, but how long can the Chiefs stay undefeated if he's not performing like his top self?
Well, I mean, their defense is that good that I feel like they can keep winning.
Get away with it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now they just traded for Hopkins, but Mahomes is not playing like Mahomes right now. But that's because he doesn't have the supporting cast around him like he did last year and the years in the past. Obviously with Rashee Rice and Tyreek Hill. But, yeah, I feel like Mahomes just gotta find himself again and then keep getting the ball to Travis Kelce, who's obviously his number one guy. But for the Chiefs staying undefeated with him struggling, I don't know. I feel like they got 1 to 2 more games. Obviously, they're going to win this week. They play the Raiders.
Yeah.
So, 1 to 2 more games for them staying undefeated, and I think they'll get their first loss.
Yeah, you never know. Raiders are the last team to beat them.
Yeah, I know that, but
That's true.
I don't know. The Raiders
Beat the Ravens earlier in the year.
The Raiders. I just feel like
They're looking terrible. I mean,
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, I mean, they're looking good. They're definitely, I mean, I feel like if they played the Ravens later in the season, which I know they already beat them, but if they find them in the playoffs again, I don't see them winning. I mean, the Ravens are looking dominant right now.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, best running back in the league. Lamar making plays, running, passing, everything.
Yeah, but the Raiders, like, this is a tank year, 100%. We need a quarterback desperately, so take one of the top 2 guys, Shador Sanders or Cam Ward, and just look forward to next season.
Go into the quarterback thing. Do you see the Steelers dominant performance over the Jets, who are struggling? That's the whole thing in their own. But Russell Wilson played well for the Steelers. Do you see any trade value with Justin Fields now? Maybe going to a team like the Raiders.
I definitely do see some trade value. I mean, the Steelers started off 3-0. I mean, there's
with
a lot.
Justin Fields.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of teams that would take Justin Fields, and he could play good with them. I mean, I don't know what the reason was for benching him, but, it worked out.
I think the reason they benched him is to see if Russell Wilson was capable and to maybe eventually trade Justin Fields away.
Yeah, I mean, they had to start Russell Wilson at least one of these games just to see what they have in him. And obviously, they have really good Russell Wilson this year. Mike Tomlin, one of the best coaches in the league, 100% for that decision. I mean, I was calling it the wrong decision at the beginning of the week because the Steelers were playing really well.
Played
but
great, and then
right now, it's looking like a really good decision from Mike Tomlin. But for some trade value in Justin Fields, yeah, there's definitely some there. You start 3-0. Fields is playing really well. He's throwing for a lot of touchdowns, not really turning the ball over that much.
Yep.
So there's definitely some trade value for teams like the Raiders, maybe the Browns. But, I mean, I wouldn't want to see him go to the Browns. So.
Yeah. His career done.
Yeah, if he goes to the Browns.
Jets, staying on that game, Jets have had many problems this year.
Yeah.
They're not looking good.
Is Aaron Rodgers the biggest problem, though? Who just hasn't looked like his past self?
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, he looks old. I mean, he doesn't look like he did in Green Bay.
Yeah.
With Devontae and, I mean, Aaron Jones in Green Bay.
But
They just got Devontae, but they looked out of sync. I mean, him and Garrett Wilson have been all right. Some good games, some bad games. I don't know what the Jets are doing.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is probably their biggest problem. I think second would probably be their ownership. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is looking like he's trying to take ownership of the team right now. He gets Devontae in. They did not need Devontae.
Yeah.
They needed an offensive line, and they also needed a better play from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's not playing good at all. I think he had two to three interceptions last game. I can't really remember, but I think he had multiple picks.
No, yeah.
One wasn't his fault. I mean, he hit Garrett Wilson right in the chest.
Yeah, I saw that.
Still, I mean,
he's just not playing like
Yeah,
he's not playing like Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
Of course, coming off that injury, it's huge.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you're expecting big plays from Aaron Rodgers, and we're just not seeing that this season, obviously, with the 2-5 record.
Yeah, with this, assuming people thought they'd have a great defense. Defense is not looking good. People thought that their offense would be stepped up. Now you got Devontae Adams, too. People thinking that they're going to be a great team, and they're just not.
Yeah,
not
they have
like
the roster to be a good team, and it might just be. I mean, they did fire Robert Saleh, their head coach. They just need a good head coach.
Yeah, I mean,
They need a good head
Saleh
coach.
was definitely not the problem, but right now, I mean, they have no leadership in the team. Especially Aaron Rodgers is just not being a leader, I feel like. But their defense played good in the first half, only letting up 6 points. But then I feel like they got a little gassed out in the second half with them being on the field the entire game. So, yeah, I mean, Steelers dominating performance.
Yeah, that offense. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is definitely the problem. They have a top 5 running back, Breece Hall. They have Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard,
Yeah.
Tyler Conklin.
Should have a great defense. I don't know why they're just not performing like
Yeah,
that.
their
there
offense
shouldn't be
is
no
just-
problems with this Jets team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sauce Gardner, he's really
Quinn
good.
Williams,
Sauce Gardner, they got Quinn Williams.
Quincy
Just
Williams.
Quincy Williams, yeah.
A young defense, and it's just I don't. Young, great
I
defense.
don't know what their problem is this year, but yeah, the Jets definitely not playing up to standards from their preseason predictions.
As a Bucks fan, I think the Ravens. It was a 10-point game, but the Ravens, in my opinion, dominated that game. Lots of things I want to talk about. First off, with the Bucks, keeping Chris Godwin in. Your wide receiver one's hurt. You're down by 10 with less than a minute to go. Chris Godwin's out for the whole year.
Yeah.
Hopefully to come back next year. Do you like that decision, keeping him in?
No,
I don't.
No.
No.
I mean, the final score did not dictate how
Yeah.
that game went.
Yeah, Ravens
I mean,
dominated.
they
it.
got garbage time points in the end, and
They would get an
yeah,
onside kick. It's,
Yeah, I mean, they got onside kick. Yeah,
Yeah, very mostly garbage time.
I understand keeping Chris Godwin in. I just, if you're going to do that with less than a minute down by 10, you got to score. I don't like the 10-yard passes.
Yeah.
You got to take some deep
Yeah,
shots.
and they also had no timeouts left. 50 seconds left. You're down by 10
Yeah.
points.
You got to take a deep shot. If you're going to try to stay in that game, you can't just throw 10-yard passes inbounds over the middle of the field.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also week 7. You can't
Yeah.
just take this one game. If you lose it, oh well. You can't keep Chris Godwin in there. Mike Evans already down. He's
Yeah.
out till at least week 11.
they got hurt in that game too. They
Yeah.
lost their two
Best-
great receivers.
Yeah, two top.
Yeah, so I feel like for Todd Bowles, why would you want to lose another receiver?
Yeah.
So I feel
Now,
like just
now
terrible
they don't
decision.
have both of those guys
Yeah.
until what you said, week 11.
Week 11
But
is when
I'd also
Godwin's
look out-
out for the season.
Look out
Yeah.
for Cooper Kupp to the Bucks. Cooper Kupp to the Bucks. I feel like
you know what? I could see that.
that could be
They need.
a destination there because Cooper Kupp. I think he wants to get out of LA. He's not really fitting in anymore.
Yeah,
I
with
feel like
Puka.
I feel like he'd want to needs a change of scenery, and I feel like Tampa Bay would be welcoming, obviously, for him.
The only reason I wouldn't see that is just because Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are two guys who are going to go up, especially Mike Evans. He's going to go up and catch a jump ball.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp's not that type of guy.
Cooper Kupp's more of a slot receiver.
Yeah.
And which they have other guys who can fill that slot receiver role. I think the Bucks need a big guy like Mike Evans who's going to be able to go up and
Yeah, and I feel like for the Bucks,
I
they
mean-
wouldn't want to give up much
Mhm.
capital for him.
Yeah, when you still have Mike Evans coming back eventually.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah, but
it's a hard decision, I think.
You get Mike Evans back in a few weeks, but if you also get Cooper Kupp to like replace Chris Godwin, I mean he's not the same play style, but he's still a good receiver.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Triple Crown winner
Yeah.
a couple years ago. So
He just got hurt
yeah,
last
Yeah.
year, but still performed when he came back.
yeah.
and they're also going to have to try and re-sign Chris Godwin in this offseason. So I feel like if they can't lock him up, why not have Cooper Kupp?
Yeah.
So, but I feel like for the Bucks, they just wouldn't want to give up that much to get Cooper Kupp. And if they have a good chance of signing Godwin for next year, there's mostly no reason to get Cooper Kupp. But that's just what I see.
For the Ravens, though, is Lamar the MVP front runner? Is he? Because he's playing unbelievable right now. He's
Definitely.
playing great.
Yeah, I think Lamar's the MVP frontrunner.
He threw 5 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Behind,
I've never seen Lamar do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
behind Lamar would probably be Allen though.
Allen? You think
Yeah.
Allen? Okay.
Allen
Right
or
behind.
Allen or look out for Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. I do see that. I can see that. He's playing great.
Yeah,
First
but
couple weeks, I thought maybe Baker, but I think he's a great accurate passer. He just doesn't make great decisions sometimes.
Yeah, he can get a little too aggressive.
Yeah.
yeah, but for Lamar, 5 touchdown passes. They put up 41 points. I mean, I just think the addition of Derrick Henry was huge for Lamar's
Yeah.
game. This is not the same Ravens team that we saw last year,
Yeah.
losing to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. But, yeah, it's definitely not the same Ravens team that we saw last year.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry coming in, he can get 100 rushing yards on any given game now, and I feel like that's just huge for Lamar because he
doesn't have to run the ball.
Yeah, he doesn't have to run the ball
now.
himself. He can stick to passing because he's got Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that Derrick Henry's been huge. I mean, the run opens up the pass, and then the pass will open up the run. So, I mean, you got to pick which one you got to defend, and it's hard to do that.
Yeah, because you got to get a guy on Derrick Henry. You got to guard Lamar.
Yeah.
And you also look out for Zay Flowers too. Zay Flowers is really coming into himself this year. Obviously, I got him on fantasy this year, but he didn't play well last game. But he was dealing with the ankle injury. So, but
He still played good though. He's just not his best self, I think. But
Also, like you say, you got to get one guy on Derrick Henry.
yeah,
A lot of guys can't tackle Derrick Henry by himself.
Yeah.
They need help. I mean,
a lot of the DBs
what is he,
they don't want to tackle him.
250 pounds, runs over 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him on social media. He was talking about he should have scored that.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree he should have scored that, but good for Derrick Henry.
He's 250
Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah, I mean, good for Derrick
He's
Henry.
huge.
though.
yeah.
So obviously, the addition of Derrick Henry is huge.
Just the last little segment we're gonna move into is called "Just Stay or Go." Coach is on the hot seat. Doug Peterson with the Jaguars. Stay or go?
Go.
Go.
Yeah.
Go?
He's done.
Go for Doug Peterson. They made the playoffs 2 years ago, and then the next season they started 8-3 with the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Insane comeback, by the way.
Yeah,
27 nothing.
Yeah.
27 nothing.
Against the Chargers.
We were thinking Doug Peterson was a great hire.
Yeah.
And he was 8-3 with the Jags
Trevor Lawrence,
last season. Everybody was playing good, and then that game against the Steelers, where they took the towels from the fans. All of a sudden, I think it just started some bad
went
luck.
downhill.
Started some bad luck for the Jaguars, and I think the Jaguars are just back to being the Jaguars.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence isn't looking like the guy he's supposed to be. First overall pick, national champion.
Yeah, I mean, the season when they started 8-3, which was last season, he was looking really good.
Looked great.
Travis Etienne,
The whole team just looked great, and then
and then
just went downhill.
Also some bad luck for the Jags, but they did win last week against the Patriots, who aren't that good. But
it's Patriots. Yeah,
But
I don't know.
obviously-
They did look good. I mean, they got a
Yeah.
young receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. He's looked well. But
yeah, definitely a confidence
other
booster.
than that, yeah.
They won't fire him after a win.
Yeah,
But
if they
one
lose
more,
two more,
one to two more losses,
You think
and
he's
I think
gone?
he's gone.
Okay.
I don't think the Jags can take any more of this losing.
Dennis Allen with the Saints. Stay or go?
I'm gonna give him a stay.
Stay?
I'll give him a stay because he lost his quarterback.
Okay.
They did start 2-0. They were showing some signs of potential NFC winner. So
Yeah,
I feel like he'll stay. But if he gets Derek Carr back and they're not playing good, I feel like later down the road he'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let him stay for this season. At least for this season. I mean, we'll see how they'll play next season. They got Derek Carr back. He's going to be a free agent. But, yeah.
All right. Brian Dable with the Giants. Stay or go?
I'll give him a stay.
Stay?
I'll give him a stay because Daniel Jones, I think that's just their biggest problem.
Okay.
It's definitely not the coaching. He led them to a playoff appearance in his first year.
Yeah.
Won Coach of the Year. So I feel like it'd be hard to let go of him right now, but I can see why they would want to.
Okay.
And they did get a playoff win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
won
right.
that
They
game,
did
yeah.
beat
They
the
did beat the
Vikings.
Vikings.
I mean,
Yes.
Daniel Jones, he looks bad most of the time, but sometimes he can show glimpses of, like,
Why they're
playing
paying
well.
him.
Yeah, why they're paying him that much money.
Yeah, of course, after that playoff year, they paid him a lot of money because obviously he got a playoff win.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like Brian Dable definitely contributed to a lot of that.
We've talked a lot about the Browns today. Kevin Stefanski, stay or go?
I
They
think-
are getting Nick Chubb back. Do you think that matters? I don't.
I think he can stay.
He'll
I mean,
stay because this is not his fault. Yeah.
I think it's really Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
I mean, he hasn't looked like Deshaun Watson from the Texans. I mean, we all know
Yeah.
what's happened. Time off.
Yeah.
And he really.
Suspensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like Kevin Stefanski's going to get a stay.
Okay.
It's just not his fault. It's mostly on Deshaun Watson and the team.
As you guys are Raiders fans, Antonio Pierce, stay or go?
Go.
Go.
Go for me.
You want him
yeah,
gone?
I don't
Yeah.
want him. We need a full rebuild of the team.
Yeah.
We need an offensive-minded coach, in my opinion. Look at Ben Johnson from the Lions. I feel like he'd be a good fit for us.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll give him the rest of the season, but
Okay.
yeah, definitely before next season he'll be gone. And yeah, Tom Brady just got a minority stake in the Raiders.
Yeah.
He said, I think he said his first move would to be to
Get
see
Belichick.
if he could get Bill Belichick to be
Yeah.
the
Really?
coach.
I mean,
Yeah.
Bill Belichick becoming.
Would you like that? I mean, you just said you wanted
yeah.
an offensive-minded coach.
Yeah, I don't know because Bill Belichick, he's kind of old. His tactics are kind of outdated at this
Yeah.
point, but I feel like he's a Hall of Fame coach still. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't mind having Bill Belichick, but I'd honestly rather have an offensive-minded coach.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's debatable, but I mean, Bill Belichick hasn't really done anything without Tom Brady. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
All right, last but not least, a lot of people want him gone. Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys.
definitely a go.
Go.
Yeah.
I think he's overstayed his time at this point.
Yeah, he should have been gone after last season.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of course. After that blowout loss to the Packers in the
Yeah.
wild card round, I feel like they should have fired him on the spot.
Really? Okay.
They had Dak, who was second in MVP voting
Yeah.
last year. They had CeeDee Lamb, Offensive Player of the Year.
Tony Pollard,
Tony Pollard.
just a great top defense.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year
Yeah.
candidate. I feel like there's no
Trayvon
way they should be.
Diggs.
There's no way they should be
Diggs,
letting
yeah.
up 48 points to the Packers.
Mhm.
Yeah,
In
and
the
their
playoffs.
offense looked terrible too, which Mike McCarthy runs.
Yeah, I was expecting them to be good this year. I mean, I thought
Yeah,
Dak was
same.
gonna. I thought
I had
Dak
them as the
and
NFC East
CD.
winner.
Yeah, I thought Dak and CD were gonna stay doing what they were doing, and I mean, with the loss of Tony Pollard, I thought the passing attack was gonna
Mhm.
be even bigger, but it's
Just
just
hasn't,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I figured the Cowboys wouldn't be as bad as they are. Like
Yeah, I don't understand what's. It's at this point you got to look at the coaching with
the
that
coaching,
much talent
the
you have
ownership.
on the team.
I feel like everything up above the team and the players.
Jerry Jones.
I feel like it's just wrong.
Mhm.
Jerry Jones has way too big of an ego.
Yeah.
I feel like CeeDee Lamb regressed this year.
Mhm.
Dak obviously regressed this
Yeah,
year.
it's-
The running game, I mean, they have Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott in their backfield. They're both old,
Rico Dowdle. I mean, he's
Rico Dowdle
he
is
hasn't
pretty
been
good.
bad. Yeah.
but obviously it's not having Derrick
Yeah,
Henry.
it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
that's
it's,
it.
it's definitely the players' fault, but I think they need a front office clean out for sure.
Yeah, they need a new GM. Jerry Jones he's been the GM for forever now.
Mhm.
And I feel like ever since he's been that GM, it's just nah.
Yeah, he needs to either sell a team or hire a real general manager.
Yeah,
so.
Jerry Jones needs to just take care of the money side of the team and hire a general manager.
Mhm. Well, everyone, tomorrow night, make sure you tune into the Cougar Network as we broadcast the 2024 homecoming football game against the Tarpon Springs Spongers. And catch us back here next week as we discuss the World Series, a potential playoff decider between Texas A&M and LSU, and the start of an NBA regular season. I'm your host, Joey Antonucci, and along with Sebastian Bruno and Logan Patel, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. See you next week.